Hey guys, my name is Ryan and this is Blockchain Markets, a channel where I share with you all the research I do on different cryptocurrencies and different projects in the blockchain space. So I thought I'll start today with the very basics on what is Bitcoin and why should you care? Why is it so cool? Why is it so different from anything else? Why do you hear so much about it? Why does it matter? So before we start with that, this is the first video I'm making on this channel. So if you like it, if you would like to share the knowledge about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrencies, click the subscription button so you can get the next videos, and also click the like button so you can also share with other people. So let's start with what is Bitcoin and when did it start and why did it start? So Bitcoin is two things, but we're going to talk about one more today. Bitcoin is basically digital currency, so it's digital money. And on the other hand, it's also a technology, which is the most important part. But we're going to talk about the digital currency today. If you think what's the relation between the two, it's like saying that it's what email is to the whole internet. But let's start with Bitcoin and then when did it start? So then it started in 2008. And it was started by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. Now you may think, well, it's a guy it's a Japanese guy. No, it is basically an unknown person. We don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. It could be also a group of people. He decided to remain anonymous. But what we do know is that he created a white paper in 2008 where he put what this new system called Bitcoin, how does it work, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So there used to be also other not cryptocurrencies, but digital currencies in the past. There were many attempts, but they were lacking one part, which is very important: the trust. How do you trust that if I send you money, that the money first is not hacked in between, so you actually get it and we don't lose it? And how do we make sure that that transaction is actually did occur? And how do we compete with other currencies like US dollar or euros or yen or others? So that was the main use case at the beginning, and it still is. And now there's another one that people buy a lot of Bitcoin and they use it as a way to store value. So what are the main characteristics of Bitcoin? One is that it's decentralized. When let's say in a normal system, you have a centralized organization that has to look after or check that actually occurred. So let's say I send money to my brother that is traveling in Thailand, for example. Normally I would do that through a bank wire. A wire transfer, or I would just go through Western Union or through PayPal, whatever. But the thing is that in that system there is a third party that controls and checks that transaction actually occurs, which is the bank or PayPal or Western Union or whatever. There's someone in between. Now, what Satoshi thought, like, why can I not just if I want to send money to my brother and he agrees with that, why can I not just send it directly through the internet? Is that possible? And then what they found is that it is actually possible to create a decentralized system, which is taking that central entity out of the equation. So now I can send directly money to my brother in Thailand or wherever he is without having to, wait a lot of days, because a wire transfer takes like 2 or 3 days, sometimes a week, and you have to trust the bank. But in the meantime, when you send the money, you have no idea where it is, and you have like this gap of days where you just hope that the other person will get the money. So in this case, it's basically taking that central entity and then sending money directly to my brother. Now, how does that happen? We'll see that in more detail on another video about what blockchain is, which is the technology that where Bitcoin runs on. But it's basically when I send to my brother money, it's sent to a network of a lot of computers, and then those computers think of people. So then those computers, let's say 1,000 different computers. This is not accurate, but it's just for you to understand the thinking behind of how the system works. So I send a transaction of $1,000 or 1,000 bitcoins, in this case, to my brother in Thailand. That is sent to a network, and that network, let's say a network of 10,000 computers, nodes, and those nodes confirm that the transaction actually was for 1,000 bitcoins and was sent today, and to whom? And to my brother. So let's say if 99% of this is also not accurate, but it's for you to understand the knowledge. If 99% of those 10,000 computers agree that it is a valid transaction because it's something that did happen, I did send it to him, and then he did accept it, then it occurs and my brother gets it. And the whole process takes around 10 minutes. So my brother would get the money within 10 minutes and we would have to pay to those computers a small amount. But now we took out the bank out of the equation. So that's one thing, and this, as I said before, also it's peer-to-peer. I'm sending directly to someone else. I'm bypassing the banks. The other different things and what makes Bitcoin unique as well is that it has a limit supply. There are only 21 million Bitcoins in the world, and there will never be more than that. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is that central banks can print as much money as they want. The Federal Reserve can print as much money as they want. And some governments abuse that. So if you see, for example, if you saw this year, Venezuela, for example, has this huge inflation. That happens because the government just prints money, but the money you have, that piece of money that you have, loses a lot of value. In this case, because there is a limited supply, and then you know that there is no government that will issue more of this coin in the future, it can only go up. So that's also something that a lot of people have realized, and then they use it not just to transact on the internet, to do transactions and then send money, but also to store. So then they buy Bitcoin and then they just keep it. They hold it for years in some cases. And if you would have bought Bitcoin in 2014, you would be a millionaire now. And the other thing is the anonymity. So then when I pay, let's say I go to an e-commerce site and I want to buy a pair of trousers. So when I go there and I click buy with my credit card, I give all my personal data to, I give the name of the credit card, the issuer, in this case could be Visa. I give my complete name, when until when is it valid, this credit card. In some cases I have to give my ID, and in this case, when you send money to someone, I don't have to say anything. I don't have to just say my name is blah 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 and I'm sending it to blah blah blah. No, if I go to a bank, yes, I have to say a lot of information. I have to show also my passport, my ID, Same story when I go to Western Union. But in this case, it's anonymous. You just send money, and the system doesn't care who sends it and who gets it, as long as these two parts, the two parties agree. I want to send money to you, and I want to, and that person receives the money. Each of them have a e-wallet, an electronic wallet, where they store the bitcoins. So that's for today. We saw what Bitcoin is and why should you care. Mainly, why should you care? Because it's the system of the future. Now we're gonna see in other videos that there are other bitcoins and also very good projects that make also a big difference. Some of them are much faster. As I said, a transaction in Bitcoin takes like 10 minutes, more or less, which is not practical at the moment. You cannot buy, as I said in the example, you cannot buy a pair of trousers and then just wait 10 minutes until you get it. So it has no, at the moment, for e-commerce, it's not practical to use it. But there are other solutions, other cryptocurrencies that we're going to see in future videos that are going for that, so that you can have like thousands of transactions per second, and you can really rival what credit cards do, for example. So that's all for now. That was what's Bitcoin. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to see something else in another video, just put it in the comments. And yeah, I see you in the next video. Bye.